An important aspect to an adequate science program is the concept of integration. By integration, I mean bringing into the science classroom and into the study of science a lot of things that are peripheral to science. But a true science study isn't a science study without them. So one that's understandable to just about everyone is math. Science has a lot of math in it, particularly physics and chemistry. So those should be present in the classroom. Now, of course, many programs have this, but it's important that the math be math that's grade level for the student and continually give the student challenge in implementing the math in their science studies. A second point for integration, a very important one, is the use of English language in the science class. I avoid multiple choice and true-false types of questions and instead frame questions that require students to answer the question using complete sentences. That way they are using and learning how to use good, serviceable English grammar and the proper technical vocabulary as they learn how to explain principles in science. A good way to bring this kind of integration into the science classroom is with lab reports. So I advocate beginning with 9th grade that students don't use fill-in-the-blank type of lab books, but instead write their lab reports from scratch on a computer in their own words using standard formatting so that they're getting a full experience of explaining what they did, what the results were, and what they mean. They're structuring their graphs themselves and increasing their own integration with the material, their own internalization and interaction with the material by creating their own graphs, filling in the data, and then describing what those data mean. A third aspect to integration is history. Many textbooks put the history completely in sidebars where it's easily skipped or left out. I tend to write books where the history is integrated right in with the description of what the principles are under study. I also like putting learning objectives about the history on the list with the scientific objectives so that the students understand that understanding a little bit about the historical background is just as important as the scientific content. In fact, some have said that the history of science is science. The way science works is that we form theories and then those theories evolve over time. And the history of how this has happened, learning that history helps students to understand how science itself works. A fourth ingredient in integration is epistemology. By epistemology, I mean a proper understanding of what science is and what kinds of knowledge science brings to us. So science is the process of developing theories, which are models of the way nature works. So how do those theories differ from truths that we know, say, that are revealed to us in Scripture? The Scripture reveals truth to us. That's different. That's a different kind of knowledge than what science gives to us. Science gives us facts, but we never know whether those facts are the absolute truth about reality. So the best thing we can say about a scientific fact is that it's correct as far as we know, but it's always subject to revision. It's provisional. Same thing goes about theories. It's our best explanation at the time, always subject to revision. So distinguishing between these provisional types of knowledge based on evidence, but only correct as far as we know, and truth, that epistemological distinction is an important thing to bring into the classroom. And finally, integrating a robust understanding of the way Christian faith and science go together and are not in conflict with each other is another important integrative point into a good science program. That one is so important that we'll talk more about that one on another video.